Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about, we're going to solve these equations using addition and subtraction. So your goal is to eliminate one of your variables. So you can eliminate using addition and subtraction, which we're going to do in this video, or also multiplication, which will be the next video. So to use these, you're going to want to use addition if you have opposites in one of your variables, meaning that one is positive and one is negative. And then you're going to use subtraction if they are the exact same. Exact same thing in one of your variables. So when I go through and look at these, I find those variables first, and I just say if it's going to be addition or subtraction. So I go through and find the ones that have the exact same number. Now, it doesn't mean that it's either opposite or the same, just the ones with the same coefficient. So if I look at number 1 here, I've got both of these are a 4x. And over here, we actually have 3 x's that are the same, and then the 4 y's that are the same. So we'll talk about that one in a minute. And then over here, we've got the 2 y's. So then we say if they are addition or subtraction. So if they've got opposites in one of your variables, then it is addition. So this one is going to be adding. And we'll skip this one for a second. And then these ones are the exact same because they're both positive. So this one we are going to subtract. Now here, we need to get these in the same format to see which one we want. So we'll just flip-flop these two, because if it's adding, then the order doesn't matter. So I'm going to do 3x plus 4y equals 22. So get rid of that. So now we got the 3x's, and we still have the 4 y's as well. So here we've got the exact same and opposites. So we could actually use either one here. I will tell you though that you will most likely make less mistakes with addition though. So I'm going to use addition here. Okay. So now you are going to add or subtract, depending on what you chose, your equations together. So what's going to happen is the ones that we highlighted are going to disappear, because negative 4x plus 4x is just 0x. So those are going to end up canceling out. And then 3 plus a negative 5 is negative 2y. Then negative 3 plus 5 is 2. So we'll finish solving this by dividing by a negative 2 on both sides. So y equals negative 1. And then just like what we were doing in substitution, we're going to take that now and plug it into either one of these equations. It doesn't matter to solve for x. So I'm just going to plug it into the bottom one. Like I said, it doesn't matter. So -5 times -1, that's going to become +5. So subtract 5. And divide by 4. 0 divided by anything is just 0. Then again, remember to write this as a point. Okay, we're going to skip this one for a second because I want to show you this one, which we chose to do subtraction on, to show you that there's just some mistakes that you might make here. So you're going to do the same thing that we did over here, but now with subtraction. So instead of adding the equations together, we're going to subtract the equations. So 6x minus 2x is 4x. And then the ones that we highlighted are going to cancel. So this is where you can make your mistake. -10 minus -10 is is 0. It's not -20. Because what you've got is you've got -10 minus -10. So those two negatives are going to make a positive, making that 0. So just be careful with that, because it could also be the opposite. And then just like over here when we divide by 4, x is just 0. Then you can plug that in again to either one of your equations. We'll just plug it into the top one for this one. So this here will cancel. 2y equals -10 divided by 2. So y equals -5. So 0, -5. Okay. So this one we're going to add. So 3x plus 3x is 6x. -4 plus 4, those will cancel. And then 14 plus 22 is 36. So divide by 6. X equals 6. Then plug that back into either one. I'll just pick this bottom one here. So 3 times 6 plus 4y equals 22. So 3 times 6 is 18. Subtract 18 to both sides. And divide by 4. So y equals 1. And then again, make sure to write it as a point. So x first and then y. Okay, then let me know if you've got any questions on those. Okay, so now our word problems. So just like yesterday, you're going to have those same 4 steps. So define your variables x and y. So say what those stand for. Create your system of equations. Then you're going to solve that system. And then make sure to write a sentence to answer the question at the end. So the sum of two numbers is negative 10. Negative 3 times the first number minus the second number equals 2. What are the two numbers? So first, we have to say what x stands for and what y stands for. So we've got these two numbers. So x and y are going to stand for those two numbers. So you've got the first number and the second number. So remember, each sentence is telling you an equation. So we've got the sum of two numbers is negative 10. And then we've got this sentence, which will be our second equation. What are the two numbers? So here, step 2 is to write those systems of equations. So the sum, remember those keywords, means adding, of two numbers is negative 10. So we're adding these two numbers together. Our numbers are those x and the y. So x plus y is, or another word for equals, negative 10. So we got negative 10. Negative 3 times the first number. So negative 3x, because that's our first number, minus the second number, so our y, equals 2. So then we're going to go ahead and solve this. So that's part 3. But first, I'm going to see what ones I can eliminate. So which ones are the exact same or which ones are different. And those here are the y's. So those are opposite, meaning that I'm going to add these together. So x plus negative 3x is negative 2x. My y's are going to cancel. And then negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8. Then I'm going to divide by my negative 2. So x equals 4. Then I'm going to take that and plug that into either one of my equations. It doesn't matter. This top one seems a little bit easier though, so I'm going to plug it into that one. So 4 plus y equals negative 10. Subtract 4. So y equals negative 14. So then the last thing that we need to do is write our sentence at the end answering the question. So the question was, what are the two numbers? So the two numbers are 4 and negative 14. Okay, let me know if you have any questions on that. So the cost of 2 adults and 1 child to go to the water park is $68.97. The cost of 2 adults and 4 children to go to the same water park is $125.94. How much is the admission into the park for 1 adult and 1 child? Okay, so in your question at the end, it will usually tell you what those x and your y are going to stand for. So how much is admission into the park for 1 adult and 1 child? So they're asking for the adult price and the child price. So adult price and child price. Now we need to write those equations. So there's one sentence, and and there's your other one. So the cost of 2 adults, so our adults is x, so 2x, and 1 child, so plus y, to go to the water park is, which means equals, $68.97. Okay, so then our second equation, the cost for 2 adults, so again 2x, and 4 children, so plus 4y, to go to the same water park is, so equals $125.94. So I'm going to look at these, and I see that I've got the x's that are in common. Now these ones are the exact same, which means I'm going to subtract. So the x's are going to cancel. So y minus 4y, so 1 minus 4 is negative 3y, equals 68.97 minus 125.94. So that is negative 56.97. So I'll divide by negative 3. So that's 18.99. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and plug that back into either one of my equations. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to plug it into this top one. 2x plus 18.99 equals 68.97. So I'm going to subtract that 18.99. So 68.97 minus 18.99 is 49.98. Divide that by 2. X is 24.99. Okay, so last thing that we need to do is write or answer the question at the end. So how much is the admission into the park for 1 adult and 1 child? So the admission for an adult is, so the adult was X, so $24.99, and for a child is, so the child was the Y, so $18.99. Okay, you go ahead and do 6 and 7 on your own. Call me over to check them once you've finished both of them, or if you have questions on them. But let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.